From LEX 18, your official UK sports station for Big Blue Nation, this is BBN Tonight.
Welcome to BBN Tonight. I'm Mary Jo Perino.
And I'm Keith Farmer. Tonight, we're going to break down UK's tough overtime loss to Ole Miss, and we'll also have more on the injury to a key player in the running game.
And I'm also going to chat with Kentucky receiver Josh Ali, and we're going to catch up with the voice of the Wildcats, Tom Leach. Unfortunately, though, the football team being off to an 0-2 start is our big blue story of the night, presented by Baptist Health. The first half, Keith, got off to a quick start. Although the Rebels opened with a touchdown scoring drive, the Cats seemed to have a quick answer with a huge run from A.J. Rose that should have ended with a touchdown. But Rose eased up a little too soon, was caught before crossing the goal line. He followed that flub with another one, a fumble at the goal line. Keith, I feel for AJ. He says he's learning from his mistakes. Many wondered why he didn't get sat after that, but Mark Stoops said, I'm not going to, punish him for making one mistake or two.
I mean, look, I thought usually you see guys celebrate, at least you're still running hard. He really let up and allowed the defense to catch up with him. The next thing that got to me is that's the second week in a row we should have had a touchdown.
Yeah.
I don't see how you can't see that he was leaning across and then he pulled the ball up to actually put it across, and that's when it got knocked out of his hands. And so a frustrating moment for sure. Should have been an early six, but as we'll find out, it didn't hurt them totally, maybe more mentally than anything.
Yeah.
UK got back on track by stopping Ole Miss for a 3-and-out, and then Cavasio Smoke ran 19 yards, and Terry Wilson followed that with a 4-yard touchdown. And so there you go. It's a tie game at 7 apiece, right where you would have been had Rose scored.
And the Cats are running the ball just at will.
Yeah.
At will, which they would do for the entire game. They had a great day rushing the ball. Next possession, A.J. Rose goes for 18 yards and Chris Rodriguez for 21 before Terry Wilson found Josh Ali for a 24-yard pass. Rose would finish off the drive with a 2-yard score that put the Cats up on top 14-7. I mean, don't go away from the running game. Like, it was working like a charm.
I mean, you know you've got to keep them honest, so you got to throw every once in a while. But yeah, I mean, we saw what they did last year with the running game. So now you got so many more weapons back there, including your quarterback. I say keep up the running game as well.
Yeah.
All right, second quarter, Ole Miss even things up at 14 apiece, but UK finished the first half strong as Terry Wilson hit Josh Ali for an 18-yard strike and capped off the drive with a 22-yard touchdown run that I thought looked very much like the old Terry Wilson, because you could see him cut a couple of times to the outside, and he talked about his confidence on running following off-season rehab.
You know, throughout camp and even throughout the rehab process, once I got out there on the field and was able to start running around again, and just trusting that my leg was fine and knowing that I still had my speed, I had the confidence. But it's different once you get on the field and you're getting hit for the first time in over a year. So that first game, my confidence was getting there, but now I feel like I'm back to how I should be running the football every time.
All right, like we said, UK did run the ball well. Wilson had 129 yards. Chris Rodriguez, career high 133, and A.J. Rose rushed for 117 yards. Mary Jo, 3 rushers for over 100 yards, and yet you still don't win this game. That's frustrating.
That's wild. Over 400 total yards on the ground. I think this is the first time they've lost a game when they've done that.
Yes.
I mean, that's frustrating. All right, second half we go. The Cats got the ball to start things off and scored again on a 22-yard run from Chris Rodriguez. The Cats look to be pulling away with this one, 28-14. I felt real good at this point of the game.
See, here's why I felt so good about it, because they ended the first half with a scoring drive, and then you get the ball and you immediately come down and score again. You just think that would just mentally weigh on Ole Miss. They'd put it out, and so you got to give them credit for hanging in there.
Absolutely.
Because they did not let that get to them. After the Rebels pulled to within a touchdown, Kentucky attempted a 49-yard field goal, which Matt Ruffalo missed. The kicking problems would haunt Kentucky later in the game, and Mark Stoops says the competition at that position continues.
Yeah, we'll continue to work both guys. We'll continue to work Matt. We'll work Chance. If we feel like Chance gives us a better opportunity, then we'll go with him.
Yeah, Chance Poore was replaced by Ruffalo after a very shaky start in 2019. So they both had their issues. You know,
Yeah.
I think you got to find the guy that feels the best during the week leading up to that game and how he looks.
This one doesn't bug me so much here because it's merely a 50-yard field goal.
Yeah, no.
Those are certainly not automatic.
Right.
So, while I'd like to have had that extra 3 points, I wasn't freaking out
No.
at that point.
Yeah.
Ole Miss then staged a drive which included a critical 3rd and 4 where Kentucky only had 10 players on the field defensively. That's inexcusable. But the drive ended with a 4th down stop by Kelvin Joseph and Josh Paschal. Josh Paschal has been really, really good this year, and it was nice to finally see Boss Man Fat coming up with a play because he's been much maligned these first couple games.
Yeah, and again, I'm thinking this is another one of those spots where it's just like, okay, that's taking Ole Miss out of it. Kentucky's going to take it over from here, and they're going to win this game. So moving on to the 4th quarter, game was tied at 28 when Terry Wilson hit Josh Ali for 17 yards. But the drive ended when Kentucky went for it on 4th down at the Rebels' 35-yard line, and they just totally got through and sacked Terry Wilson there. Ole Miss then took a 35-28 lead. All right, so now now you're starting to worry about Kentucky's psyche and how they're going to handle responding to that.
Right, because now it's 21 unanswered.
Yeah. Oh.
And then you get...
And looked easy.
Yes, and it did look easy. So, Kentucky then had to come up with an answer of its own, and they did. A balanced drive ending with Chris Rodriguez scoring to even things up at 35 apiece. Still, I'm feeling good at this point because they needed to score here, and they did.
And you mentioned they're balanced.
Yeah.
They were definitely balanced with the run and the pass. It wasn't a lot of long shots, a couple of decently long pass plays, but they were doing everything that they needed to do to move that ball down the field and get in for the score. All right, so the game then headed to overtime. That's where the Cats managed to get the ball first, take advantage with a 10-yard touchdown run by Terry Wilson. And so it's back to Ruffalo. This time missed PAT, and Ole Miss took advantage, scoring a touchdown right there and winning it thanks to the Luke Logan extra point.
Very difficult way to lose a football game. It's been a crazy year, and this season is going to be different. It's going to be difficult playing a 10-game SEC schedule, and games are going to be close. We have to make those plays in critical moments to win us football games.
Today, Mark Stoops said Kavosiey Smoke will be out for at least a few weeks after he suffered a rib injury in Saturday's game. In the past, we may be saying, oh boy, this is going to be tough, but we know they've got a lot of guys back there in that running back room that can carry the load until he's back.
Yeah, I feel for Kavosiey, but that's not a position that really hurts them. And Lane Kiffin, after the game, said, I got to send Kentucky's kicker a Christmas card. That is such a Lane Kiffin thing to do.
Yep, no doubt.
All right, we're going to keep going with this. Coming up next on BBN Tonight, we're going to continue our discussion of Saturday's game with Josh Ali.
The Kentucky receiver talks about his 88-yard performance and a top 5 ranking with Pro Football Focus. That's when we return.